Ventures have been discussing hey Elizabeth, come on in, welcome.
Hi.
We've been discussing the challenges that are associated with the modern workplace and digital transformation in the workplace, specifically preparing students and everyone, as including human resource experts, to embrace XR technology and XR thinking and whatnot into and apps and applications into the workplace. We've been also talking about a lot of the changes that are going on with remote work, and it's been really fascinating to see what has been shifting with this new normal. So we've been talking about that as well. And our hosts that are going to be here hopefully in a few minutes include Matt Burns, who is the host of Thinking in the Box, which is a very popular podcast for HR experts. And and catering to that, Mara, you're here.
Good
Fantastic.
morning. Yes, I
Good
am.
morning. Hi, are you going to be leading this? Are you going to be with me? Or is
No, I
Matt
just came
in?
to pop in and say hi quickly. I thought Matt was.
Well, we're waiting for Matt or Nav or whoever's going to be here. So while you're trying to, if you could track them down and then come join me up here, and we'll vamp until they get here. Um,
Cool.
so, so that we've been, like I said, for the last few weeks, that we've been having these fantastic discussions about how to modernize how the workforce is modernizing to accommodate this new digital transformation, not only from work from home, but also to include the virtual VR, AR, and XR. And so just told you about Matt Burns, who's doing this amazing podcast, Thinking in the Box, which is really exploring the modern HR environment. And for those, how many of you have been to one of these events before? So I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Give me some hearts. If you've been to it before, all right. So some of you know it. For those of you who don't, again, we're looking at how the education and the workforce is changing through the eyes of human resources to make sure that we, can prepare our students are prepared, our educators and our school systems are prepared, and also HR experts are prepared as well. Hey, Connor, come on in and welcome. Are prepared to learn how to handle the changes that are happening in digital technology. They are also the sponsors of the Global HR Summit, which is coming up September 8th through the 10th. It is 3 days of amazing presentations and discussions and whatnot on how the human resources industry is changing the workforce and how they need to change in order to embrace the new technology. It's literally a digital transformation conference. And Educators in VR, of which I'm the co-founder of, is one of the co-hosts, sorry, not co-hosts, sorry, co-producers of this event. It's also a fundraiser for the Virtual World Society. So there are so many reasons to be at this event, because if you are a student, if you're an educator, if you're looking for a job, if you are in business and you need to understand how the workforce works and how um, the XR is revolutionizing the workforce, you need to be at that conference. It is going to be amazing because HR plays such an invaluable role in changing the face, and preparing, changing the face of the workplace, and also preparing the employees for training and everything else going on. So I want to bring out, there was this study that was done, just released recently, actually in the last day or two, that was really fascinating on the changes in the workforce as it relates to working productivity and working from home. And I thought I'd share a few of those little details with you. So some studies have been done by Fast Company and by some other business magazines and companies that are saying that productivity actually increases when you work from home. But what is also very fascinating in this is that working from home is not new. There's we have such a forgetful, short-term memory when it comes to history. And it goes into just a few paragraphs that are really fascinating. Lita is working with me on the Educators in VR Cultural Heritage and Preservation team project. They'll be starting up really soon in next month. And so the history, look at this, is amazing that working not from home, so working in remote locations and away from home was actually very unusual until about the Industrial Revolution. People had their shops were part of their house. People were, the labor was all clustered in the home. We were an agrarian society, so we grew all our own plants and our own seeds, and we sold them, and very farming things. And so people, shopkeepers, and everybody, we and schools, even people went to live in the schools and they stayed there. So everything was in, we worked and we played and we did our things all within the home. Well, now everybody works, in an office and travels back and forth with the advent of improved transportation and such. And they found that their studies have found that there's more autonomy, there's more independence from working from home. It also has some amazing benefits economically. So they found that on average that employees work 1.4 more days per month, 16.8 more days per year than those who worked in an office. I found that fascinating. And I see that Lita's the only one left here. Okay, any word on as I vamp away?
Oh dear. Oof.
Matt thought
Hey,
it was
Lita.
9.
Well,
So I called him, so.
it went to 8, it went to 9, and it went back to 8. And so uh, we'll see. But I can also do a run to the campfire and bring some people in. Anyway, just to finish on the so anyway, we're all friends here. I'm going to open up the floor. Anyone have any questions? Because my rattling off on these stats isn't helpful since we lost some of the people here already.
Oh no. Yeah,
It's okay.
That's being rounded up. Yeah. I don't have any
Okay.
questions. Does anyone else have any questions about the Global HR Summit or HR in VR?
Elizabeth, Lita.
I don't have like a meaningful question, but for the sake of contributing to the conversation, how do I change the color of my shirt? I feel like I have this stock standard boring color.
You
gotta
yes.
create your
yeah.
avatar. I know, but
So
I was
just
doing that. I was, and I hate to say this while I'm admitting that I wasn't.
Oops.
Oh,
She hit the wrong button.
They
she wanted
should.
to go change maybe.
Yeah, she just hit the wrong button.
Oh, no worries.
She hit her home button.
If you see next to the patterns for your shirt,
She's
there
gone.
should be. Oh, damn.
She hit the wrong button.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Anyway, there's a little palette. There's a little palette symbol that does it. So there you go.
Okay.
So that obviously
All right.
wasn't the button that I meant to touch.
No.
Yes, that was very, very clever. You hit the big circle with a triangle on it. Go to me. When you go to edit your avatar, there's a little palette button that you can click on. It'll allow you to change the color of your clothes.
Customize avatar and then. Yeah, it's in my in
Yeah.
clothing, and it's the top
Clothing.
accents, right?
Yes, you should see it says style pattern, and then next to it there's a little symbol that looks like a palette, like a color
And
palette.
this is going to alarm you guys, but I'm looking at that right now, and I'm trying to press red because I feel like that would look best with the weird skin tone I've got, and I just can't.
Yeah, then you have to make sure that you save it. So that often happens as people.
Yeah, click on save.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, see, I haven't changed again.
Uh-oh.
Make sure you hit save.
The whole thing, it looks just like me except for this.
Okay, let me do a test. Again, green, save. Am I green?
All right.
Guys, am I green now?
So,
you're green, yeah.
You're green.
Yeah. Okay, that's what you do.
Thanks,
you
Lita.
Go to the,
Make sure that you hit save because I often forget. I put all the work into it and I forget to hit save.
Girls, I'm telling you, I'm doing exactly what you're saying. Clothing.
All right.
Top accent. Clicking
okay,
it.
The top accent only changes. Yeah, but the top accent only changes
there
on
is
jackets.
If you go
it
to
doesn't
your right,
change your
it says
shirt.
top. It says top.
Go to top.
Style, pattern, and
all right.
Hello.
Yeah.
There, it's the top one. I hope y'all are not filming this insanity here, Tony.
Am I red? Hey, girls. Hello.
And yeah, Carlos.
Yay!
That's it. Brava! There you go.
I appreciate the emojis.
Yes. And if you're really into fashion, make sure that you check out the it's called the Rink or Roller Boogie Night, something like that. There's a roller rink here in Altspace, and when you go in there, you get
Cool.
legs on roller skates, and it
When
is
is
way
this?
too much fun. And so it's a world here in Altspace that's really, really popular right now, and it is fantastic here, Argon. And I put on a skirt because you can't do this on roller skates without a skirt. And so I left the skirt on. It's way too much fun. And so
Amazing.
anyway, so it is the
You can
roller
get it
skate thing.
into,
Not only do you have
yes.
sexy legs, but you got on the guys. The guy, everybody gets the same legs, and they're just a hoot. Anyway, so
Awesome.
hello, who all came in.
Hello.
This is the HR and VR meetup, and we're going to get started here in just a moment. We are waiting on our speakers, and in the interim, we are vamping. So, hi, Aragon. Um, so let me talk about what's happening coming up with educators in VR, because I can do that for hours. So the students are taking over. Educators in VR is an event partner with the Global HR Summit that's coming up September 8th through the 10th. And we also have many, many events in AltspaceVR and Engage that are focused on integrating VR, AR, and XR technologies into the classroom and into schools and into businesses, as well as into your life. So our Students in VR division has taken over this month our weekly workshops, and they are having this is amazing. Oaks Mission School is in the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma, and this is one of the poorest school districts, the poorest communities around the United States. You just could not believe how much they struggle. Their high school and their school system is completely, the buildings are so old, they're falling apart, they might as well be meeting outside. And last year they had $2.9 million donated to them by a family trust, and
Wow.
it was life changing. So not only did they were they able to fix air conditioning and ceilings from falling and everything else, they set up scholarship funds, and they set up a VR lab because they knew they needed to reach out beyond the scope of these students' lives, and VR was the easiest way to open up new eyes, hearts, and minds. And so this school is going to be, the students from there are part of Students in VR, and they're going to be talking about their experience, their own digital transformation today at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 4:30 Eastern, and I believe it's 5:30 UK, somewhere around in there. Just check the events calendar.
Good math.
And it is, yeah. And no, it should be later than that. But anyway, somewhere around in there. And I don't have it in front of me. But they're going to be talking about their own digital transformation. They're going to be talking about what they see as the future of technology, digital technology, for their own future going forward, in the job world and in the workplace market. So they're going to be coming on with our Educators in VR weekly workshop that happens the same time every day on Tuesdays. And though it's moving next week, or 2 weeks, it's moving back half an hour. But anyway, so that is today. Students in VR is taking that over. And tomorrow, do you know who Sarah Hill is?
One of our people? Or no?
Well, I would
No.
love to have her be one of you. Sarah.
We have someone that works for us named Sarah Hill, but no.
Okay. Well, this Sarah Hill is the founder of Helium, which is the stress reduction app that is game life business changing to really work on stress reduction and preventing burnout and all kinds of different what's called secondary trauma in some worlds of all the crap that's going on. And she is a award-winning. She's won the Edward R. Murrow Award and a 12-time Emmy award-winning storyteller. And Sarah Hill is going to be presenting on mental fitness in the new reality for our Educators in VR virtual coaching and personal development on Wednesday. So this is
Amazing.
huge. And the work that she has done with this VR app is just groundbreaking on mental health, mental fitness, and stress reduction, etc., and
Mhm.
reducing the boosting up the immune system and reducing all the stress stuff for professional and personal stuff. We're really excited to have her coming in on Wednesday.
Amazing. Yeah, I've
And
heard of the helium. I
yeah.
tried to download it in
Oh.
Oculus, but they don't have it yet.
No, no. Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's. Oops, I'm getting a wicked echo from somebody, and I think it's from Contra Dave. We're gonna check and see. It is. Could make, if you could make sure that you have headphones in, or that you lower your volume on your headset, that would be great, and then it won't cause an echo. So we have that coming up. In addition to the Virtual World Society. Oh, so excited about this. Has Chuck Che coming. He is from, I believe it's Japan. He's from Asia. It's Japan. I'm looking up the details here. And on Thursday, the Virtual World Society, of which is one of the beneficiaries of the Global HR Summit, is doing their famous, really popular uh, fireside chat on Thursday right here in AltspaceVR. And he is a filmmaker, award-winning filmmaker, who his film won the Best Virtual Reality Experience Award at the 75th Venice Film Festival. And he is a game changer and producer of one of his films is the Buddy VR, but he is a master at balancing the film's narrative interactivity of theater play and game design using digital storytelling techniques. And he is coming here to AltSpace to talk about how do you find that balance in digital storytelling between time and space and existence and everything. Especially digital storytelling is just revolutionary, and that's what we're doing. I mean, that's with all of our conferences and our meetups and everything. It's about that story and that transformation and how we can use the tools associated with this technology. Anyway, Chuck Che is coming. He's a filmmaker, and he's going to be here on Thursday with Virtual World Society. So very excited about that one. And then y'all have another meetup on Thursday as well to talk about HR and VR.
Mhm.
And then next week as well at whatever time is then set up is all ready to go. And then we are getting ready for the amazing Global HR Summit. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, please?
Well, the Global HR Summit, yeah. So basically, we're just bringing together HR professionals, XR professionals, and to come together to really talk about what's happening in the world right now and the change of the workforce going remotely and in a post-COVID world. So we're talking about how to incorporate technology into the remote workforce. We're also touching on subjects such as diversity, equity, and inclusion, parenting the new normal in the remote in a post-COVID world. So yeah, a lot of interesting topics. We keep adding speakers almost every day, it seems like. So the agenda is going to be fluctuating a lot in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, definitely it's going to be an event not to miss. I'm very excited. And yeah, these HR and VR meetups are all about coming together to talk about these topics leading up to the event and to kind of get to know one another and get acquainted. So yeah,
Oh,
super
I,
excited.
I am so excited. Well, there's many reasons I'm excited. And one of the reasons is that, first of all, it's the first time that HR experts are coming together in VR. That's amazing. And we believe in walking the walk, don't we? I mean, honestly, it's all nice to go, yeah, we need to go online and VR is walking the walk. And I think that's really important, especially for, we have Zoom fatigue everywhere, and VR, we don't have VR fatigue. We have equipment fatigue, that's different, but we don't have as much fatigue here in VR because of so immersive, and there's so much presence and things that are associated with that. And the the amazing things that are being done with HR training, with human resources training, from job interviewing to job training to the use of AR in manufacturing and assembly lines, is and behavioral training with sensitivity issues and things where people are learning new empathy. And VR is so good for empathy training, isn't it? It's just amazing because it helps people to walk in other the footsteps of others, as it goes the thing. Do you have some examples of how XR is now being used in the workforce?
Right now, a
You
lot
can
of it's
share?
being used for training. For example, Kentucky Fried Chicken uses the VR headsets to train their employees. So rather than them either wasting product or hurting themselves, they can practice and learn how to be an employee with VR. There's a lot of other implications, such as remote working, using VR and AR for remote collaboration. So all of your team, you can be in your living room, just as we are now, but all together in one space. So, coming out of a post-COVID world, this is the new normal. So there's a lot of new technologies and stuff coming out to accommodate remote workforce and XRs. It's really amazing.
My husband works in the aeronautics and industry and avionics and aviation. And there is some amazing work being done with very lightweight devices that are doing more XRs. Y'all know the difference between AR, VR, and XR and MR? Yes, give me hearts if you say no. You say yes, you know the difference, and frownies if you don't. Hearts if you know the difference between AR, VR, XR, and MR, and frowny faces if you don't. I'm seeing a couple frowny faces.
Right.
Oh wow! All right.
So
Here's a lesson. Here's a quick lesson. VR we classify as immersive. It means you are seeing the world through your eyes. Everything you're interacting with, it's through your eyes. Compared to virtual, where you're actually looking at your avatar moving through a virtual world. But it's really immersive. You are surrounded in it. AR is a mix of immersive and what we call integrated. So it is seeing virtual in the real world. For example, how many of you are Pokemon Go fans? Any Pokemon Go fans? A couple? All right, Ingress. Yeah, anybody who's an Ingress fan, which I love. Pokemon Go bores me to tears. I love Ingress. And Wizards Unite is also fantastic. So my husband plays all of them, and it's a part of my daily life to have a picture. He'll send me a picture of some little creature or monster sitting on top of my head while I'm eating dinner. So that's a part of my day-to-day life. Is the AR is just a part of my life, but it's also being used in manufacturing companies, as we mentioned, especially in the automotive department, automotive and assembly lines, to actually provide the worker information about what's coming up on the line, how to assemble parts, instructions and manuals. And some new cars, expensive new cars, have instructions in AR. So you put on the glasses and you can then see how to turn on your car and which buttons to put and push and whatnot. It'll just give an overlay of the virtual on top of the real. Mixed reality is very similar to that. It is done with, we usually don't refer to it much. It's losing its name, MR, or Windows Mixed Reality, WMR. That is much of the same thing, but it's really integrating the two closer through with VR and AR. And XR is the summation of all of them. It's extended reality. And so it's kind of become our new global grouping of all of these different technologies. And with my husband's work, they have been working with 3D modeling in aeronautical design for a long time, at least 25 years with CATIA and stuff, where they're using a computer to see a 3D model, and they can zoom right in to tell exactly read what the number is on a rivet or a screw in a part. And they can zoom back out and see the whole airplane. They can have instantaneous 3D blueprints. They can print them out and whatnot. What is happening now is that they're taking this into XR. So with the glasses, the goggles on, they can stand in a room with other engineers, and it's the matrix. They can zoom in on the same piece. So instead of looking at a computer screen, the aircraft engine or whatever they're working on is right there in the room with them through the use of extended reality and AR. And so they're able to zoom right in using their hands, using the hand motions or some controllers, get right in and see that same bolt or same rivet with a number on it, the ID, and then they can click through and get ordering information or whatever they need, stress analysis and stuff right in there. It's still very, very expensive. They are working on doing projection, so it's more holographic, but that's way down the road. but it's coming. And that's part of what this conference is about, is to explore that potential in the workplace. It's really exciting what's going on. And so any other examples? Oops.
One second. One moment.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to our hosts in. So I want to remind everyone that the Global HR Summit is coming up. There are information on the signs that are directly behind you with globalhrsummit.com. The proceeds benefit the Virtual World Society, which is an amazing, groundbreaking nonprofit organization that does outreach programs this is for dozens of years. And it is founded by Tom Furness, who is the grandfather of VR. He invented VR as we know it. You would not be here without him. And he often talks about it starting in a gigantic room that would physically was about, a little bigger than this, with a giant backpack strapped onto a pilot. His first work was doing simulation training for Navy and aircraft pilots for flying planes and things. And they had huge headsets. In fact, one time, one of the inventions they have was the Darth Vader headset. It looked just like the Darth Vader headset with these glowing giant lenses in to try to create this really immersive experience. It was amazing. So anyway, he's founded a Virtual World Society, and the proceeds are benefiting them, and they're hoping to raise $250,000 for the Virtual World Society. The outreach programs. Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry, I hate to cut you off. I have to hop out
No.
there. And now that I wasn't expecting to be here, but thank you all for coming. Okay. It was great to meet you and connect, and I'll see you later tonight again as well.
Okay, beautiful. Right. So Nav is on his way?
I think Matt is.
Or Matt is. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so what I want to tell you about is the virtual... Thank you, Mara.
Thank you.
The Virtual World Society today is doing a special Make-A-Wish event with VR for a young boy whose name is Price, who is dying, unfortunately, very sick. But they have been spending the last 4 or 5 months developing a real world and VR experience that he gets to play a Marvel DC Comics superhero. He gets to be a superhero. He has his own cape, his own uniform, and he's going out on the streets of Seattle with his VR headset and he's attacking robots that are taking over downtown Seattle. And he's got a team of people that are leading him through. He's going up to the Space Needle and going to be working from there in his VR headset to defend Seattle. And it is a completely customized program that Virtual World Society has created in cooperation with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, so that little Price can be a superhero for a day. And it is an amazing experience. They also do incredible outreach programs throughout Africa and throughout Europe and the United States. They are still working on a program in the Appalachians to help young women get out of drug and alcohol dependence and be educated in programming and development for digital storytelling in VR. That's my thrilled that all the proceeds from the Global HR Summit are going to be benefiting the Virtual World Society. So I'm very excited about it. So so Matt will hopefully be here in just a moment. So I'm going to turn on the raise hand button in preparation for him coming. Any questions I can help you answer about Educators in VR, the Global HR Summit, about HR in the workplace and HR and VR and VR and XR and AR in the workplace, and careers and things. He'll be able to really help you when he gets in here with specifics, but I can help in the interim. Any questions? Just hit the raise hand button in your lower right hand corner. And I would love to know, is VR, AR, XR, are any of those things used in your workplace today? Are you working with those in any way, shape, or form as either your workplace or do you dream of building virtual worlds or doing programs? Are you working with Unity or Unreal Engine? Just hit that raise hand button. I'd love to hear from you. The raise hand button is in the lower right-hand corner, just letting you know. We call this button the dummy button because it is meant to say high five. It does not mean raise your hand. For those that are 2D users, we don't have hands. Those are our hands. So, all right, fantastic. So, the archit, is that right? Architect. The architect, you're on. You have something you want to say? Just accept. Let me double check again. Just accept the megaphone button if you have something you'd like to say. Hi. Okay, I'm not hearing anything. So if you're having problems with your audio, make sure that you have a good microphone set up and you have that set up and ready to go. Okay, so hopefully when you have that fixed, just let me know and you can raise your hand again. Anyone else have any comments about using XR in VR, in the workplace? Just hit the raise hand button. The different projects that are going on, I mentioned my husband's work when doing avionics and things. His company is looking at this, but it's still quite costly. We are waiting for the prices to come down, and the Oculus Quest has been a major game changer. How many of you are on the Quest? Give me some hearts. Yeah, the Quest or the Oculus Go are absolutely been game changers, and because they allow easy access that is affordable. Now, unfortunately, it's not that affordable, but it is cheaper than the $1,000, $2,000 to $5,000, $10,000, where some of the advanced VR systems are. The Quest is for 400 or 500 US dollars or whatever it translates into your country's money. That is really low compared to what it could be. And the new Quest 2 is about to be released. Anyone excited about that? Yes, the Quest 2 is about to be released, and that is coming up very soon. And I think that's going to be an even bigger game changer as businesses and schools are now embracing that. All right,
There
the
we go.
architect, you're on. There, now
You
I
can
can
hear
hear
me now,
you.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All
It's just
right.
that
Oops, we just lost you again because you hit the. Can you hit the raise hand button and then not touch it? All right, hit that raise hand button and I will. Yeah, don't touch it again because it turns you off. There.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. There.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's just that for some reason Allspace messed my audio settings. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, I was wondering that VR community you mentioned. Do you have like a Discord server or something like that?
You mean the Educators in VR?
Yeah.
Okay, Educators in VR does have a Discord. You can find all that information at educatorsinvr.com or
Okay.
discord.me/educatorsinvr. But educatorsinvr.com has all of our links on it. Sorry.
Mhm.
And there also, the Global HR Summit also has a Discord. So you can go to Global
Mhm.
HR Summit and find the link there as well.
Oh, okay. And
Yay.
you can find
We love us
people
in
from
Discord.
you can find people from different backgrounds there, right? Because I'm actually working on a VR platform like with a couple of people, and we're actually
Mhm.
looking for more VR developers. You see, because pretty much like if you want to go VR like seriously, the only way to do that is with Unity. So we're actually looking for more Unity developers, but it's very hard to
Mhm.
find people who actually have not only the necessary skills, because you see finding a Unity developer is very easy, but finding a Unity developer with experience in VR and multiplayer games, it's not that easy. So I'm actually
It,
wondering
yes.
if you have
And so
people
educators
like that.
in VR would not be the educators in VR would not be the place for that.
Hmm.
Because educators in VR's mission is to um, integrate XR into education and business. And
Hmm.
so we don't have we don't have a lot of developers in there. There are a few, but they're also looking for developers. So that there
Mm.
are tons of Unity developer Discord channels and resources and job banks and all kinds of different things out there. So, check the different job shops and things. You'll find plenty of people with a great deal of experience. I also, if you want to explore here in AltSpace,
Mm-hmm.
check out the SDK meetups that happen Wednesdays and Thursdays, depending on the time zone. And they will be, there are a bunch of developers that hang out in there for those meetups that understand gaming and social VR and whatnot. And you might be able to find some things there, some people there that can help. But Educated VR is not the spot, nor is the Global HR Summit, because it's not for developers.
All right.
Check those out. So, but there are tons of them all over the place, and once you start tapping into that community, and do look for Unity-based Reddit, and many of the developers are on Reddit as well as on Discord.
All right. Well, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's do checks that many of the different schools, this is a harder work because they don't have the experience, though they have some experience, part of the education. But look around your area to see which schools, which university and colleges have a digital and XR program, VR labs and things like that. And then you can check and see what their job hiring practices are. And that would be fantastic. Anyone else want to share? Thank you very much. Anyone else want to share about how they're using XR, VR, AR in their workplace, and or how they're using it for work? All right, Draken, you're on. Draken
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
We're not necessarily using it in our workplace, but it's one of the things that we're kind of looking towards adapting into workplace environments due to everything that's going on in the world right now, and the ability to sit face to face being kind of off the table for a majority of markets. Having a virtual platform where you're able to discuss things back and forth in the same kind of guise as we are here, it kind of saves not only company money, but it also saves on time of trying to communicate back and forth, whereas usually with other platforms, like actually showing up in person, you have to pay for tickets for the people to fly out, and the meeting space where y'all meet up, the hotel rooms where everybody goes prior and after. But with it being in a virtual reality space, it's like they're not only in their own location, but they're also face to face and able to communicate in real time, basically.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things that I'm really looking forward to, like fully adapting into, not only the workplace, but also like a full blown lifestyle, because it really does seem like as we move more working from home, that the entire corporate environment kind of dies out, where you would have people like sitting at a water cooler, discussing, oh, did you see this, line of code? Did you, how's everything going, on the project you're working on? That kind of died out because, it became more family oriented when you actually introduce, the workplace into your home, in comparison to just, hey, yeah, I have a cat. You actually see the cat jump up and everything along those lines. So,
Yes.
it kind of provides this group sense of more unity than anything else, because it's not only just inviting somebody, close to you, but inviting them basically directly into your house and where you personally feel like the best you.
Well, we were just talking about earlier that Fast Company has released some recent collection of resources and studies that are proving that working from home is actually more productive than working for most companies than working in the office. There is a 22. So the 2019 State of Remote Work. So this is before COVID-19. From Owl Labs stated that 22% of the people who worked of remote workers were happier than those who went to the office. They're finding not only greater job satisfaction, but also increase in productivity that is pretty phenomenal. It's all over the map depending upon what they are, about, depending on the end of you are working on a collaborative virtual product, product project, whatever, where you're building together within VR, XR, AR, that productivity increases. Information passes quicker. Meetings speed up. It's fantastic for meetings. But as a virtual workspace, working in a virtual environment where you are working in 2D with a desktop, where you have eyes free and hands free, is also increases in productivity. So it's an interesting to see, does the headset add more productivity? Does it take it away? It's the fact that the virtual space increases productivity, increases socialization, it increases the communication. Because you and I could right now go behind this building and have a conversation and not leave the space, but have a quieter conversation. And so that ability to have small groups to meet off and break away to talk about things and come back, something you can't do on Zoom. You can only have one VR thing, one Zoom thing at a time, right? You can't have 5 of them going. And so you're reliant on back channels. So either Discord or some kind of back channel chat, be it, the Google, whatever they're calling it now. They're merging all of their chats together, from Hangouts to chat to now Meetup and all these different things. They're merging it into one. But whatever you're using, or with Microsoft Teams, having the back channel chat is still very, very important and conducive to the work experience. But being able to actually connect with people on a personal level, we call it part of embodiment and presence in the education and research industry, really makes a big difference. If this was a Zoom, an online conference, I hate making Zoom into a generic word. If this is an online conference, y'all be sitting at your computers, like, watching TV, trying to, if you have the camera on you, forcing yourself to look at the screen. They now have an app that you can use that will make your eyes stay fixed on the screen even when they aren't. Oh, really? I just think that's hysterical. And so, but you either have to constantly pay attention to the screen, or if you turn away, you feel like you're being judged, and yet you can't be productive unless you're turning away and you're actually working on things. When you're in VR, especially here in Altspace, we have these eyes now, these beautiful eyes that follow you wherever you go, which is really creepy in some respects. But it feels like we're there. Doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like you're actually here with people? And if you're in 2D, you can turn your face away and still be engaged, but it feels more immersive. It feels more connected. And we've found through research that people's inhibitions actually drop when they're in social VR, which means you actually get more shit done faster. It is really amazing. So I work at least minimum around 20 hours a week in VR. And hey, CFAT, are you having some navigation issues? All right. Find a spot. Yep, thanks. All right. And so it's been, we back channel on Discord, and then we use project management tools and stuff. And the productivity is really amazing when you can connect with people. Are you finding that?
Yeah. Generally speaking, when you're in an environment, if you look at when they first started introducing office toys, or introducing anything where you actually get to like fully express at least some form of your personality, there's like a increase in productivity that's there just naturally. So with an environment like this, where not only as the avatar itself, a central personalization that's there, you're also eye to eye contact, and you're in an environment that you're not in physically. So, I mean, you're in the comfort and the safety of your own home, but you look around you and we're at this, beautiful, mountain resort having conversations back and forth. It really does free up, your ability to communicate back and forth. And it makes it feel like more personal, because it's just like those one-on-one meetings when you were in an office, but you don't have to worry about, oh, well, is somebody going to barge in? Or is it going to be one of those, instances where, we're going to get stopped in the middle of, conversating something over a project or anything like that? and have to deal with a different issue altogether. It's more personal, and anytime you introduce like that kind of personality into it, where people can fully and fundamentally be themselves in an environment that they feel comfortable in, productivity just skyrockets.
It really
So
does.
with things that are awesome like this, using Quest and VR and everything along those lines, where you're fully immersed in the world. Granted, where certain projects won't really work with it when it comes to like physical, tangible things, where it's like, okay, here's a prototype. You can do some modeling and things like that, in Blender and bring it into the virtual world, but it's not the same as, when you're actually physically there with the model in hand or anything along those lines. So when it comes to more personal relations and everything like that, it's really great to see an environment like this really bring out people being themselves more so than kind of being sheltered and standoffish. And even people who are usually not very communicative have a tendency to speak out more in a virtual environment because they have this kind of comfort of anonymity, in the sense of avatar. You don't know what I look like, I don't know what you look like personally. It's kind of freeing, and especially when you can get one-on-one with people who are more introverted, instead of having like a group meeting over Zoom or Teams or something like that, where it's kind of more on the spot. Put out your answer and then we'll get to you if we can. In an environment like this, it's literally like sitting around a coffee table with people you can relate to and associate with.
Absolutely. And it makes such a huge difference. So great insights. I love it. One of the other insights, I'll just give you a little advice. If you could move forward, it'll move
Mhm.
you off the spawn point. There, beautiful. You just had several avatars spawn inside you while you were talking, and that's always uncomfortable for others. But you're absolutely right. And I'd love to hear from other people. So if you have some comments about working in, thank you, Dragonwolf. I appreciate that. If you have a comment or you want to talk about how you are thinking about using AR, VR, XR in the workplace, or any experiences or thoughts, would love to have your thoughts. We only have a few minutes left of the meeting, so if you'd like to say something. If not, I'm going to talk about Lita. So Lita is amazing. Yes. And she is, just want to talk about the ease of making things here in AltSpace. I know. But she is absolutely passionate about historic, heritage sites and museums, things, and but especially heritage sites and preserving them. And has done, is building this. She learned Unity in order to do this, which is incredible. That is how great her passion is. And so she, if you Lita, if you want to hit the raise hand button so I can call on you. The So you want to tell us about what you've done with your amazing heritage world.
I don't know if this is related to the subject of this this meeting, but yes, I've created the Athens Agora as it was or was supposed to be during the Roman times in AltSpace. Basically, it's a low poly version, of course, because AltSpace doesn't allow for very detailed environments in large scale, but also because I'm not qualified to create something like that in full detail, obviously, but I feel it's quite close to the actual thing. Currently, it's almost done. Today, I removed the under construction message that existed in the description. So, yes, finally. But technically, it's not finished. I need to put the props in, like little trees and stuff that make the whole environment look like it's a place that people lived in. So, yes, and it's open for anyone to visit. And eventually, I have already started doing. It's called the Athens Agora. You can find it if you go to the AltSpace website Worlds and then search for the world, putting Athens Agora. You can find it and favorite if you want and visit it anytime you like. And eventually we're going to have events. I already have started having events in this, not events, freestyle, let's say, tours in it, describing and giving information to people who want to learn what that place was. And I'm hoping to make a standard event out of it. And my main idea behind it is to create cultural heritage and archaeological sites that are freely available to everybody, and where people can freely visit these places and learn and just experience them without having to go through a standard tour, sort of on rails experience that doesn't allow people to move around and do whatever they want to do. And I hope this will become a standard way of experiencing cultural heritage places in VR. And that's the whole idea.
I'm so excited. It's beautiful. Now let me talk about, as a business and an industry, what she's tapped into. The museum industry and the heritage sites, national parks, park systems, and anything associated with cultural preservation, historical preservation, antiquities, etc., is a huge market. And right now, these industries are suffering as nobody is coming to visit them. So that when tourism and driving traffic and tickets are your main income, that is really, really painful. So many of them are branching off into VR, and it is, and 3D 60 filming and whatnot. There is a school that is starting an archival project to collect 360 film footage of cultural heritage and preservation sites from around the world, to catalog them and make sure that those are, they have those films are all available for educational usage. But in the museum and the heritage site market, they need people. They need developers, designers, digital architects. They need people who are specialized in Unreal Engine and in Unity, in single standalone apps, as well as developing things on platforms. This is they need photographers and filmers and color people and animation people and programmers. It is a huge market that you may not have ever thought about. So if you are doing any kind of development work in digital technologies, something to really think about, that this is a huge market with only a few players in it. And she's already setting up to bring these things here into AltSpace, and hopefully greater beyond, for education, so that we can tour these places and learn about them. And schools require access to these places. So I'm working with a rock and mineral museum right near where I live, to have the curator there is getting ready to purchase some 360 cameras to film their rocks and their minerals, so people can, and they're going to use WebXR so that they can go open up a web page and be able to look and examine close up and turn around with hands or with controllers or with their cursor to actually view these things, to provide educational material and see not only what these look like, what they're made of, look inside them, look around them, but also connect that. And this is, it's a huge project. I'm only doing a little bit of introductory part of it. But then how do you connect that information with the bigger part of education? So I'm hoping that one day places like Lita's will have little buttons or things, that little hidden, that doesn't destroy the immersive effect of what you're in, but you'll be able to click on something and learn, like click on a lamp and find out what fueled the lamp. They didn't have electricity, but was it oil? Was it some form of kerosene? How did they keep those lamps burning so that people could visit these towns in these time periods, in these ancient times? That's information that helps us dive deeper into the immersive experience as well as the educational experience. And look at a wagon and click on a wagon and have it actually tell us about how it was built and what were the struggles and problems with building wagons that went over rough roads, and how long did they last, and click on a horse and find out how they, the different gear the horses were used for transportation, and I'm hoping that we'll have that easy accessibility heading into the future. because we need that in education, and we need developers. We need to educate and train developers and programmers. We need, and designers and UX specialists and everything else. We also need these things. So it's a round circle. You have to train the people to be able to do that, and the people need to do it, and then it comes right back into the school so that we learn. Make sense? So it's an exciting thing. I'm so excited about what she's doing, because this is a step in an amazing direction for where we have the potential to go. Anyone else? So thank you, Lita, and I love what you're doing. All right, the architect, you're back. What do you want to say?
Yeah.
Yay.
Actually,
Yes.
that was the reason why I was mentioning that before, is because, you see, when I mentioned that we're developing a bigger platform, it's actually an indie project. So,
Mm-hmm.
like a little quick about my background, I used to
Mm-hmm.
work in banking during a long time, but I also know how to
Mm-hmm.
code. So, I literally I hated my job, even though it was a, well, a good paying job, but I hated my
Mm-hmm.
job. So I literally, that was not what I wanted to study. I have a BBA, but that is not like my passion. So my passion is VR and things like this and development. So me, with a bunch of other professionals, we literally we just quit our jobs and we dedicated to build a project from scratch. So we have musicians, we have 3D modelers, we have some developers, and so on. And now we're building this platform, which am I standing like in this spawn point, because there's always the
No,
people
no.
spawn.
CFAT, yes, CFAT, you've now merged into several people. Please don't do that. Thank you. Okay, go
Okay,
for it. Keep
so
going. Uh-huh.
as I was saying, pretty much, I know this guy. His name is DJ Soto. I don't know if you know him. He does
Yes, I
several
know him.
events here.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I know him well.
So this guy, okay, so I met this guy, and then I started talking to him, and he seemed very passionate about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing led to the other, and he presented me a couple of his friends, um, or people he knows, and one of them turned out to be the lead of Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. So I'm not Lutheran, but this guy has had this idea of creating Jerusalem
Mm-hmm.
or the whole Israel
Yes,
in BR.
yes,
The problem is
yes.
that with the current mainstream platforms, he's not allowed to do that because it's literally a huge thing. It's a huge world.
Mm-hmm.
So he was looking for a platform to do this. So he literally like managed after a couple of months talking.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us a grant because the problem is that, uh, for example, if you try to tell that to Allspace, well, Allspace is owned by Microsoft, as far as I understand. So Microsoft is not interested in like a grant from a church because they already have a lot of money. So what we did is we got a grant from
No,
them and we did
there's
a
other
partnership.
reasons. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're a huge
Okay, go on.
company. They're
Yeah.
not gonna go and yeah, they're not interested in that. But so they went with us, and now what we're doing right now is we are building our platform, but also tailored to some things that the backers are requesting from us. So we're gonna allow them to have some features that, for example, don't exist in Allspace. Like for example,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to have a book and search on it
Mm-hmm.
directly on the platform itself and other things
Mm-hmm.
that they require. But that is like a crazy thing. I think like there should be like more people doing VR platforms in the environment, because otherwise it's gonna become like a huge monopoly, and that is not good. That is never good. Like monopolies are never good. Um, but yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah, and then
yeah. Well, just to
you're cutting out for me. Can you hear her? That's weird. Hello.
do I need to
Um,
re-enter?
okay,
Just
now I can
nod
hear you.
or yes, I'm okay. Okay. So anyway, it's usually when you're having audio problems, it's usually you. So re-entering the space clears it. But
Okay.
anyway, just for information, sometimes it's me. Um, Microsoft owns AltSpace, but AltSpace is an independent company. So just letting you know that there's some backstory on that, as well as they have a great deal of history of working with DJ Soto, and you can take that
Mm-hmm.
any way you want. And what I'm just curious, what time period is the project taking place? Because I lived near and in Jerusalem for a long time.
Oh yeah, well he mentioned that he wants it to be he literally wants to be the story of Jesus in VR. So he wants to tailor
Okay, I'm
it.
sorry. I shouldn't giggle. Okay, the story of Jesus in VR. I mean, is a complicated um, time period. So, okay, so that would be all right. So that would be around uh,
I mean,
30
from a
AD.
Lutheran's perspective,
Okay.
I'm sure that they already have like their defined because
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
huge denomination, so they must have their defined
No,
version
it's
of
not.
that.
No, everybody has their own version, and so
Yeah.
they don't have a solid, there's no solid storyline in there. As a Lutheran, I know that. But anyway, so they're looking at around 30 A.D., give or take, for that time period, and so
Mhm.
it's very fascinating to find the perspectives, having lived there and being very, very, very familiar with the history of it, and studied it a great deal to see how people's interpretation goes. And so that will be really, really fascinating to see. So awesome that you're working with him on that. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
I
actually,
love that.
it's
That's
something that
wonderful.
called my attention is, for instance, like a quick thing that really called my attention is that they don't have like the
Um,
Catholic vision of nativity, because like if you
No.
like
Yeah.
to a
um,
Catholic house, they see it like
Hmm.
a some sort of barn or something like that.
Hmm.
The Lutherans
Yeah.
actually depict it as a cave.
Yeah.
That called my attention.
There were no barns in Israel
oh,
ever.
so yeah,
Rita?
so yeah,
Yeah.
just a question. So this is a
Yeah.
religious, basically, experience, sort
Yes.
of VR experience, not an historical one,
Oh no,
Right.
from what I
it's not.
understand.
It's just that this guy specifically wanted to build that, but in reality,
Hmm.
Okay.
it's a completely. I mean, we're open to everything.
Hmm.
It's just that this
Uh,
guy specifically
it
wanted to
just
do that.
it can't be both. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yes. Yeah.
It can't
Yeah.
be
Then
both.
Yeah, it
it
can
can't be
be.
both his. Well,
It
Yeah,
it can and
cannot
I
it
be
mean
can't be.
both.
It
the
It
yeah.
what do you mean?
it can't be both a historical and a religious one. I mean, you must put some let's say expression things in there that are not related so much to history. If it's going to be a religious experience, that's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
but that's the thing. It's not a religious experience. Have you ever seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yeah, I know the story, but I haven't seen the movie.
Okay,
No.
you know what
Yeah.
the
It's fine.
Oasis is. So have you ever read the
Yes,
book?
but the
Yes.
Oasis,
Yes.
it's not
Okay.
accurate to the real. It doesn't mirror the real world in the sense of historical data in it. It's
Hmm.
Yeah, but
a
we're not talking about that. So
freestyle,
what I'm
a
talking is
freestyle VR.
we have a VR platform with multiple instances and multiple worlds, so people can visit whatever world they feel like. So because if
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
saying that you
Okay,
cannot have both on the same platform, then you
no,
cannot
you
have stuff here because DJ
obviously
is
you
also
cannot.
here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you can have both in the same platform. You cannot have the
Uh-huh.
same experience be both historical and religious at the same time. That's what I was saying.
So yeah. So
Oh,
we're
you
talking
mean in the
about
same world?
two
Yeah,
different
we
things
don't
here,
have we don't
Yes.
and
have that. We
you're
don't
both
mix them.
so you're
No.
both right, but they're unrelated in
Yeah,
that respect.
there are
And
completely
I
separate
just want to let everybody
experiences.
know
So,
that the
for
event is
example,
over. If you do leave, you
there
will
is
not be able to come
Okay.
back in. And thank you, Rita.
section for him.
But
Like
it's
when you spawn
the
in the
challenge
world.
is. Oh, Matt, you
Oh,
just showed up.
oh,
Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
oops.
Matt. Hi.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Matt. That's all right.
uh-huh.
And so just letting you know that she was
Mhm,
talking about something that was a little on the different. But when you're developing something with a very specific intent, you need to serve the
mhm.
client in that particular way, and it may not match the scientific and data realism of it, but that's not the point. You are serving a specific customer and their needs. So good on you for doing that, and good luck with the project. I love it. So Matt,
Mm.
we're just saying goodbye to everybody, and because the event is over. I'm sorry about the time mess ups, because it popped around and back and forth, and I don't know. It was at 8 o'clock, then it shifted to 9 o'clock, and somehow it's 8 o'clock again, and I thought that there was a shift in there. So do you want me to duplicate the event and you um, restart it because the event is over now? The event is over. No speakers ever showed up.
Yeah, it was scheduled for 9 o'clock. So I don't
Yeah,
know
but
what happened on our end with the 8 o'clock piece of it, but it
okay,
was scheduled from 9.
okay. But they had 15 minutes to show up and nobody showed up before the event, so none of the speakers showed up. So sorry about that.
No problem.
But we did what we could.
I appreciate it.
And we'll figure out what's going forward, to fix this going forward. Make sure that it's all on track.
Yeah, leave that with me to figure out on our end. My master schedule has always showed 9 o'clock, so I don't know where the 8 o'clock thing ever came from. So leave that with me, and we'll figure it out on our end.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll double check with Donna to make sure that got set. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here. You can head on out and visit the rest of the world. What the stuff that's going on, we will be having this at 9 o'clock next week. At the same time, don't forget on Thursday at is it 6 o'clock, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Pacific. Yep. Do check the calendar to make sure what it is in your own time zone. We'll be having another HR in VR meetup, and make sure that you check out the signs and the information for the events for the Global HR Summit that is coming up the 8th through the 9th or the 8th through 10th of September, and make sure you get your tickets right away. So right now we have the show off event. The European version is on right now. It's 18 plus. And we have a great discussion on with the Evolve VR team on death and the transition awareness and acceptance of it. It's beautiful. Share Your Music Meetup starts in an hour, as does the virtual Germany GamesCon is coming up. So do check those events coming up right now. Thanks, everybody. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Thurl.
Yay. Thank you. And so I will find out on my end also what happened with that. So we'll make sure that this gets fixed.